そこ。
Hailed as a modern-day masterpiece, Attack on Titan has always managed to subvert our expectations with its mind-boggling foreshadowing and not-so-chill narrative. And this final season has also continued to further endorse this fact. Week after week, our expectations were subverted. Or maybe not, considering how most of you are either caught up with the manga or were tragically spoiled while watching a random video about a turtle eating strawberries. However, regardless of the fact that you are caught up with the manga, or you were just irrationally spoiled by a random idiot on the internet, none of this spoils the genius of this season. Not in the least. I have already talked about the Marley Arc in my other review. If you are interested, you can check it out. The link will be in the description box below. What we are going to talk about in this video are the events that happened after the Marley Arc, up until the current point in the anime, which happens to be the 16th episode of the 4th season. So if you haven't already watched it till this point, you run an extreme risk of getting thoroughly spoiled, even more so than before. Well then, shall we begin? When the battle against Marley ends, Eren and the others rush back to Paradise. Together with them, they have the war chief, Zekes. Or in simpler words, they made complete fools out of Marley and came back home. Be that as it may, everyone knew that there is no time to celebrate, now that the festival where everyone was going to declare war against Paradise was ravaged by Eren.
敵を駆逐するまで パラディ島勢力へ宣戦布告を
It's only a matter of time before the infuriated world takes action. And against the military prowess of the world, as well as the Marleyan Titans, Eren and the others won't be able to put up a fight. This made for an insanely difficult kind of dilemma, for not just Paradise, but also for Marley. Just like how Paradise would be vulnerable to the world's modern-day military, Marley, as well as the rest of the world, are afraid of the rumbling. If Eren Yeager somehow manages to use the Founding Titan's abilities, the world may very well end. This was the rift that Eren created through its attack on Marley. Eren was imprisoned while the higher-ups including Hanji were in extreme distress over what to do with him. Meanwhile, Captain Levi was babysitting Zekes. Countermeasures were taken to avoid the two brothers coming in contact with each other. Nobody really knew what they were plotting. There was also those who wholeheartedly supported Eren to the point of literally blowing up the premiere and launching a revolt as flashy as possible, while Mikasa and Armin were literally depressed at how things were turning out to be. In the midst of it all, Eren escapes the prison. He meets up with the supposed leader of the Jaegerists, Flock, and contemplates meeting up with Zeke. Now guys, this is exactly what makes Attack on Titan so interesting. Before this final season, we knew who the good guys were, and we also knew who the bad guys were. But the writing of these last two arcs is so brilliant that the morality of every character is stupidly subjective. The once vague lines between morality are no longer there. It's all about the choices you are about to make. As Attack on Titan's famous catchphrase goes, "The world is a cruel place." But even so, Zeke's betrayal and the alliance with the Volunteers were more surprising than Flock's revolution. Not only did it catch us off guard, it also flipped the idea we had of what was going on in the story and raised further questions. I did think that Zeke's sympathetic words to Eren when they first met were unusual considering how they were both literally enemies. But I never paid much attention to that afterwards. This was a miscalculation as we had never heard nor seen Zeke's side of the story. Zeke sees not being born as salvation, which is why he doesn't feel guilt for ending other people's lives. Because in a way, ending people's lives means ending their suffering, or so he thinks. It is an interesting clash of ideals. There is no time to consider what is right or wrong. What matters is what must be done. Hanji, on the other hand, was played a poor hand. She was stuck in the middle of this substantial crisis, and she was the one in charge of making important decisions as the 14th commander of the Survey Corps. However, Eren's empathetic argument left her speechless. And then, Eren went on to make short work of Mikasa's love, going as far as saying how he hated her for being a slave. He showed the same kind of attitude towards Armin too. This was genuinely sad considering what had become of the alliance. Why must Eren do this to the people he always held so dear to him? What do you guys think? share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also mention a spoiler alert if you're going to include anything from the manga. Anyways, in terms of writing, this was an absolute banger of a season. These last 2 arcs, or rather ever since the scouts left to retake Wall Maria, the writing has been a masterpiece. There are also so many things happening, so many things to consider, so many trivial moments that turn out to be major plot points. This season ended with the war in Paradis finally starting, so as you must have all realized, this can't be the final season of Attack on Titan, because there's still enough manga material to create another 16 episode long season like this. Though if you're feeling frustrated at the fact that there are no more episodes, I highly recommend reading the manga. It doesn't take away of the enjoyment of the anime, and you don't have to worry about the spoilers either. As for the other considerably controversial components of this season, I wouldn't say the animation was the best just like every other season, because let's be honest, it obviously wasn't. All of those other seasons had years worth of work put into them. But as the decision to make the final season was unexpected and was obviously because of business-oriented interest, Mappa, being the studio that decided to take on the job, wasn't able to reach Wit's ridiculously insane animation quality. But with the little time they had, they were still very much able to do the best they could. This final season doesn't look or sound bad at all. In fact, it's quite good. Though asking Mappa for the same level of jaw-dropping action is probably too much to ask. All in all, there were a few scenes with obvious flaws. Other than that, the animation was remarkably well done. So I'm just going to say that I've seen enough and that I'm very satisfied. The audio aspects of the show are also a treat, and this season was no exception. It took a couple of times before I got addicted to the opening though, but it still slowly kicked in, so we're good on that aspect. Honestly, I just wanted to make a full-scale review of this arc, just like how I did with the Marley Arc, but because the final episode only adapted up to the 116th chapter of the manga, we are still a few chapters away from the major conclusion. Though whenever a sequel comes around and we reach the contents of the 122nd chapter, I'll make an in-depth review about it. For now, we have the final chapter coming up earlier next month. You can expect a lot of Attack on Titan stuff like the review of the final chapter, a few what-if videos, as well as some character analysis of the major characters. So if you're interested, feel free to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. It is always appreciated. Now I know you guys have a lot to say about this 4th season, so feel free to comment down your thoughts below. Well then, as always, I'm the Bearded Saiyan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.